Nice little fountain. It's like a... Got any pennies? We'll throw some coins in the fountain and make a wish. We can make a wish for a toilet that works. Hey everybody, how you doing? Here we are. Amy's back down the boat, so we're going to do some work, and what we have to do is we want to get our insurance restrictions lifted so we can untie the lines and head out. But one of the last things we need to do is replace all the copper fuel lines in the boat with approved A1 fuel lines. So should be interesting. Let's do that.
That's all we have to do. We just
have to do, just replace it.
Just take off the old and just put on the new and clamp it right. And we're good to go.
And then we have to bleed the engine, which we have no idea how to do.
So that shouldn't take too long.
That'll take like 5 minutes.
It'll be done before lunch.
So that's what we're going to do. So let's go check it out. And if we can do it, anybody can do it. So here we go. Let's check it out. Let's see what we can get done. Well, the first thing we do is turn the fuel valve off. Gosh, it sounds like this thing hasn't been turned off in years. First, we're going to take off this initial piece of copper, which leads to the water separator. I'm going to replace that water separator with a Raycor fuel filter, which also has a water separator in it. Now, the reason you have to take off this unrated tubing is because copper gets very brittle under vibration and can crack. So it's not rated, and so we got to replace all the copper rated with a fuel line. This is the piece of copper I just took out.
Okay, so the first thing that we notice is that this copper tubing is held in place by something with threads, a screw with threads that's got threads on the other side. So in order for us to replace this copper, it has to have, the new hose has to have something for the hose to attach to. So I asked Santa for a toilet or parts to help fix it, and look what I got. Yay! I'm so excited. Actually, I am excited because we're determined to try to get this toilet fixed. I know it's technically called a head on a boat, but I'm continuing to call it a toilet and just let it be that way. So looks like this is the new pump. I'm hoping that it really works well. It's already, looks like it's already pre-greased on the inside here on the plunger. It already has the joker valve in here. So it looks like all I have to do is get the tubes, the hoses correctly clamped on, and then hopefully that will take care of our issues. I really hope this works this time. Stay tuned. I'm not smiling. I'm really pissed because we got the pump for the toilet, but with much stress and bruising and turmoil, got all the tubes undone, unclamped, pulled everything off, which was old and sticky and breaking. Fine, we get the new pump, I'm putting the new pump on, and the reality is that I took shots of the elbow. The way that the elbow came on the pump was facing up. In order to work in our bathroom, you have to make the elbow face down. Fine, you switch it over, you make it face down. The problem is the angle of how that elbow faces down. It's unflexible, and basically it can't ever become flush to the mount. See where this comes out? This elbow is not flexible. In order for this mount to mount on this base and be flush, it needs to be flat. And I can't get it flat because it's bending on this elbow, which is inflexible. So it can never be flat. I don't know how they were able, and if I push back here and make it more flat here.
Oh, it's a strength thing? You mean just...
I don't know. Maybe it's a strength thing, but I can't get it. I can't.
All right, let me give it a try.
It will always be a little bit non-flush to the mount, which is a potential place for leaking. I don't know who, if the previous folks manhandled the screws. That's why the screws were different, and they manhandled it and jumped on it and got it screwed down one time, and it worked for a little while. I don't know. I'm absolutely fed up with this toilet. Okay, so took a break, took a deep breath, and thought, I need to call a superhero. I need Superman to fix my toilet, because I obviously can't use enough brawn or brains to get this thing to work.
I was able to just use strength to push two things together.
So I called Superman, and guess what? Superman came, and Superman forced this part to go flush to this part, and took this part and had to jam it in and keep the screw there while he screwed it in. And it looks like Superman was able to get the pump on flush mounted onto the toilet base with sheer Superman strength. And so I just want to say thank you, Superman. You're my hero.
We're going to see now at the moment of truth, does it work or not? All right, so just putting these hoses on, and then we're going to test this out and see if we got flow. If we got Florida. Bum 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 bum. We're not gonna take it. Never did and never will.
All right, let's open up the inlet seacock. Okay, seacock is opened. Put some water in the toilet. Feel like Little House on the Prairie here. Bring you in the bucket, Ma. Oh God.
Go ahead. Oh, this pump feels smooth. Okay.
Okay, once it is out.
It's out.
After use, pump it until it is empty. When it's empty, then turn the lever to the left, which is open.
Okay, moment of
The
truth.
flush control again, and then continue to pump until it has either left the boat or reached the holding tank.
Ooh. Oh. Oh. Something. We have water.
Oh my God.
Oh my, look how dirty. Hey, get the flashlight and get more light on the subject here. I think we fixed
I
it.
think Superman was here.
Okay, ready? Let's try it again. Ooh, it stinks, man. Oh, nasty. Oh, it's like, smells like rotten
Okay,
eggs.
it's flooding. It's flooding.
Well, oh,
We're
dear.
flooding.
Underneath?
We're shooting water out.
Okay, where?
Right there.
Ah, no.
Shooting water out right there.
Okay,
The pump works, but the seal isn't.
okay, pump works, but seal no good. All right. Wonder where it's leaking from. Yep, squirting out. Okay, so it's clear that this left screw, you see it, it's the only one that's different. It's a Phillips head screw instead of the regular screwdriver head screws. All right, so I went to the hardware store to find a replacement so it would be the same exact screw as the other ones, because I'm thinking, this is where it's leaking. And they told me that stainless steel Phillips heads are the newest thing, and they don't make the flat heads anymore. And this looks like this is the problem. And I couldn't find a hardware store that has those straight screwdriver screws.
So we're gonna have to come up with some other options. Maybe I need, I don't know what I need. Maybe, I really don't know. I'm just fed up at this point. And I just felt and didn't felt, fine, show the folks what it looks like to be fed up with the frickin' toilet. So here it is in all its glory.
The compostable head that we saw at the Annapolis Sailboat Show is now looking more and more appealing. However, it is $1,000, and money is really tight. So we're trying to figure out what to do next concerning this issue. Another issue is that the top of our mast, the sheave, is cracked, and we've gotten an estimate of $1,500 to take the mast off. And the reason it's that expensive is because evidently there's a riveted cap on the top of the mast, which also has to be unriveted, taken off, the sheave replaced. And so that's a big expense. So we're trying to figure out a better way to do that. We don't have to do everything before we untie the lines, but one thing we do have to do is increase the electrical ability to run things while at anchor. And that comes down to the battery system, which is rooted in the alternator. The alternator determines how much you can run. And so we called in a marine electrician, a retired marine consultant. He's also an instructor, and we have a 35 amp alternator, which in essence only puts out about 28 amps, which is very, very low. That could maybe run your anchor lights, and we want to be able to live on anchor. So he said there were some modifications that we would need to make to the engine in order to then put on a more powerful alternator. He also did not give consent to be filmed, so I've overdubbed his input. I think you'll find it all very interesting. The marine consultant taught us how to read the electrical chart of our engine, and this is important because you cannot manage what you don't understand, and this is all part of the steep learning curve to be able to be successful cruisers. One of the main things he consulted us on was the small size of our alternator and all of the things that we need to run to live really for free at anchor. And so this is my overdub of his idea. So this is what we'd be telling the mechanic.
All right, the objective is
to eliminate the small sheave, the forwardmost small sheave on the water pump. Shift the raw water pump aft until it aligns with the fresh water circulating pump. At that point, we would have a new belt that would work off the original large crankshaft pulley down here. Come up around the circulating pump, over to the raw water pump, and back down to the crankshaft pulley. So this would be a reconfiguration of these pulleys. The adjustment would have to be made. We'd have to modify the mount on the raw water pump to allow it to have an adjustment to tension that belt. So the large sheave on the crankshaft would run both the circulating pump and the raw water pump on a single belt. Then there would be a new sheave bolted on in place of this little tiny one down on the bottom, and that would run a new alternator. So the mount for the raw water pump is probably the most difficult part, and you may possibly need a new sheave on the raw water pump. But the mount has to be made, then shifted aft, and be an adjustable mount. It will need to be fabricated.
bracket.
Right.
So that needs not a mechanic.
That needs not a mechanic, but a fabricator. They will need to weld up a custom mounting bracket that has got the adjustment arm on it. Well, we know somebody, Buster Phipps' son, does that kind of work, I think. That Phipps boat work, so.
Well,
I work with Buster, yeah. Unless you have someone that you know. So there's just so much to get done, and we are still considered a port risk. We are not cleared for navigation by our insurance company, so there's just a few more items that we're going to have to fix, and they're, I believe, relatively easy. So that's the subject of our next episode. In the meantime, let's just have a little fun. Now, I know it would make much better viewing if I was in the Northeast Passage, or I was down below the 40th parallel, and I was out of all my food, and I had to eat raw blubber, raw fish or something. But hey, God bless the USA. I can just order Domino's pizza, because I'm a hungry cruiser. You know, I told the pizza guy what our slip was, but I think I'm going to put on the lights so that he will definitely see it. Let's go. Anchor light, tricolor light, steamer light, foredeck light, running lights. Hopefully he will be able to see me. Boy, it's dark, isn't it? Yeah. All right, Domino even delivers to sailboats. That's pretty awesome. I have a YouTube channel. That's why I'm filming this. Okay. But I can't see anyway. It's all dark.
12.
All right. Got the pizza. Got the drink. There's 15. Keep the change.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Have a good night.
You too now. Oh, it's tough, the sailing life. Yes, we got so hungry we had to boil poor Johnson. Yes, we had to fillet him. Lost at sea. Boy, this sure beats eating Jones the midshipman.